What if the secret to becoming the strongest man alive was not hidden in advanced science or modern gyms, but discovered over 2,500 years ago by a man who trained with nothing more than discipline, patience, and a growing animal on his shoulders? Before we step into this extraordinary story, make sure to subscribe to Strange Tales, like this video, and turn on notifications, because the most powerful truths are often buried deep within history, waiting to be rediscovered. This is the story of Milo of Croton, a figure so legendary that his name became synonymous with strength itself. In an age where myths and reality often intertwined, Milo stood at the center of both, part man, part legend, and entirely unforgettable. Around 2,500 years ago, in the ancient Greek city of Croton, located in the culturally rich region of Magna Graecia, Milo was born into a world that valued physical excellence as much as intellectual pursuit. Croton was not an ordinary city. It was a place where philosophy flourished, where discipline was respected, and where athletic greatness could elevate a man to near-mythical status. Although precise historical records about his early life are limited, it is widely believed that Milo lived during the 6th century BC. From a young age, he displayed an unusual level of strength and determination. But what truly set him apart was not just his physical power, it was his approach to growth. One of the most enduring stories about Milo's training begins with a simple yet profound act. As a young man, he chose to lift a small calf onto his shoulders. It seemed insignificant at first, almost trivial. But Milo did not stop. Day after day, without interruption, he repeated this act. As the calf grew, so did the weight he carried. And as the weight increased, so did his strength. Over time, that small calf became a full-grown bull. And according to legend, Milo continued to carry it with ease. Whether this story is entirely factual or partly symbolic, its message is undeniable. Strength is not built through sudden effort, but through consistent, gradual progress. This idea, simple yet powerful, would later become one of the most fundamental principles of modern training. But Milo's greatness was not confined to training grounds or legends whispered among the people. It was proven in the most demanding arena of his time, the Olympic Games. In 540 BCE, Milo entered the ancient Olympics as a young competitor and won the boys' wrestling event. This victory was not just a triumph, it was the beginning of a legacy that would echo through centuries. With each passing year, Milo continued to dominate his opponents with unmatched power and technique. From 536 BCE to 516 BCE, he achieved something almost unimaginable: 5 consecutive Olympic victories in wrestling. In an era where competition was fierce and unforgiving, such consistency was extraordinary. Victory in the Olympics was more than just a medal. It was a symbol of honor, pride, and eternal recognition. Winners were celebrated as heroes, their names remembered long after their time had passed. And Milo did not stop there. His dominance extended beyond the Olympics into other prestigious competitions such as the Pythian, Isthmian, and Nemean Games. Across these events, he is believed to have secured at least 32 major victories, solidifying his status as one of the greatest athletes in ancient history. Yet behind this unmatched success was not mere talent. It was a system, a philosophy, a disciplined way of thinking that separated Milo from every other competitor. At the core of his method were 3 principles that continue to shape modern fitness even today. First, begin with light weight. Milo understood that the body must adapt gradually. Starting with excessive force could lead to injury, but beginning with manageable resistance allowed the body to grow stronger over time. Second, never break your routine. Consistency was his greatest strength. While others trained when it was convenient, Milo trained without exception. Day after day, he committed himself to improvement, understanding that greatness is built in repetition. Third, increase gradually. This concept, now known as progressive overload, forms the foundation of modern strength training. By slightly increasing the challenge each day, Milo ensured continuous growth without overwhelming the body. These principles may seem simple, but their impact is profound. Even today, athletes, trainers, and fitness experts rely on the same methods to build strength, endurance, and resilience. Milo was not just a man of physical dominance. He was also connected to the intellectual world of his time. He was associated with the teachings of Pythagoras, whose philosophical school in Croton emphasized balance, discipline, and harmony between mind and body. This connection reveals a deeper side of Milo's character. He was not merely strong. He was disciplined in thought, guided by principles that extended beyond physical training. As his fame grew, so did the stories surrounding him. Some claimed that he could carry a bull around an entire stadium. Others believed that he had defended his city single-handedly during times of conflict. While these stories may contain elements of exaggeration, they reflect the immense impact he had on the people of his time. Milo became more than an athlete. He became a symbol, a living representation of strength, discipline, and human potential. But every legend carries within it a question. What happens when strength becomes identity? What happens when a man known for invincibility faces a moment he cannot overcome? That question leads us to the final and most mysterious chapter of Milo's life, one that transformed his story from a tale of triumph into a timeless warning. What if the greatest strength a man possesses becomes the very reason for his downfall? Before we continue this powerful story, make sure you are subscribed to Strange Tales, and do not forget to like this video, because the most important lessons often come from the most unexpected endings. The life of Milo of Croton was filled with triumph, discipline, and unmatched power. For years, he stood undefeated, admired not only for his victories but for the principles that defined his journey. Yet, like many figures of ancient history, his story does not end in glory alone. It ends in mystery, legend, and reflection. As Milo's reputation grew, so did the myths surrounding him. To the people of Croton, he was more than a man. He was a symbol of invincibility. Stories of his strength spread across the Greek world, inspiring awe and disbelief. Some accounts describe him walking into the Olympic arena carrying a massive bull on his shoulders, a living demonstration of his legendary power. Others suggest that he played a role in defending his city during times of war, using his strength not just for competition, but for protection. Whether these stories are literal or symbolic, they highlight a truth that remains constant. Milo's identity was inseparable from his strength. But strength, when pushed beyond its limits, can become a dangerous illusion. The death of Milo of Croton is most often told as a cautionary legend rather than a strictly verified historical fact. According to ancient accounts, Milo encountered a partially split tree trunk in a forest and attempted to tear it apart with his bare hands, a display of strength that reflected his fearless nature. However, as he forced his hands into the crack, the trunk suddenly closed, trapping him. Unable to free himself, the once invincible athlete was left helpless and was eventually attacked by wild animals, leading to his death. Historians continue to debate the accuracy of this account. Some believe it to be exaggerated, while others see it as symbolic storytelling rather than literal history. Yet, regardless of its factual precision, the meaning behind the story remains powerful. It presents a striking contrast. The strongest man in the world, defeated not in battle, not in competition, but by a moment of overconfidence. This ending transforms Milo's story into something far greater than a tale of physical strength. It becomes a lesson about limits, humility, and the dangers of believing oneself to be invincible. Despite the uncertainty surrounding his death, Milo's legacy has endured for over 2 millennia. His principles of training, starting small, remaining consistent, and progressing gradually, continue to influence modern fitness and athletic performance. In gyms across the world, athletes unknowingly follow the same philosophy that Milo practiced centuries ago. Every time someone increases weight step by step, commits to a routine, or trusts the process of gradual improvement, they are echoing the methods of a man who lived thousands of years ago. Yet, beyond fitness, his story offers something deeper. It reminds us that discipline is more powerful than talent, that patience often achieves what force cannot, and that even the greatest strength must be guided by wisdom. Milo's connection to Pythagoras further reinforces this idea. In a world that valued both physical and intellectual excellence, Milo stood at the intersection of both. He was not just a symbol of power, but of balance, a reminder that true greatness requires more than strength alone. As we reflect on his life, we are left with a question that extends beyond history. What does it truly mean to be strong? Is it the ability to lift the heaviest weight? To defeat every opponent? Or is it the discipline to remain consistent, the patience to grow slowly, and the wisdom to understand one's limits? Milo of Croton may have lived over 2,500 years ago, but his story continues to challenge and inspire us today. If this story made you reflect, if it changed the way you think about strength, discipline, or success, then this is only the beginning. Subscribe to Strange Tales for more powerful stories drawn from history, like this video to support the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson from Milo's life stayed with you the most? Because sometimes, the most ancient stories carry the most enduring truths, and sometimes, the strongest man in history leaves behind the most human lesson of all.